Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Yeah, it's great being here. Big thank you to Jason and really everybody that's been streaming, and thank you for being so kind. We're happy to have you here. Dereje from Ethiopia, good to have you here. Valder Nagum as well, awesome. Amir, Gus Martin in the house with an actual name. What? And a face? Is that right? Yeah, wow, it's crazy. Okay, so good having you here. This is Thursday, April 30th, and this is your Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, all about bending pixels. So kind of a continuation from yesterday, but I'm so thankful that you were here. Hopefully you're being safe, having a good one. You're off just wired on caffeine. That's my hope. I know I am. That's pretty typical of me. Even when I don't have caffeine, it seems like I feel like I'm wired on caffeine. But here we are. Good to have you here, wherever the day may find you. This is the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. This is the webpage. Just want to point that out. I could always kind of paste that in there, but it's in the challenge tab. You get the idea. This is basically day 3 for making images, which is fun. But it's kind of a continuation of yesterday's, which is all about blending images. This is just super important, understanding and working with layers and masks and adjustment layers. So it's kind of a continuation of yesterday's, but I'm going to take it to the next level because I'm going to use Photoshop for the iPad, right? And we're going to do some fun content. So good morning, shout out from Southern Florida, McCormick, good to have you here as well. And again, yesterday's was all about blending images, as you can see right here. I like everybody's creative take. This was my hope, is people would kind of try some new things. We'll work on the font later. Hey, we'll work on that font. But I just love what everybody's been doing, you know, and thank you for, even if you post like the original images and then the final images is always good. But I like what's going on here. The perspective's off a little bit here, but this one's like pretty fantastic. I'm not sure what's down there, but everybody's been doing a great job. We will be reviewing those. In fact, the one and only Aaron Nace will be reviewing those in 30 minutes. Well, actually, during his segment. But we do have a full day planned, and I'm so thankful that you're here. Ontario's in the house. All right, cool. Let's do this. Also on that page, what do? You're gonna get started by grabbing that file. So this is also really fun. You can see this is the image right here, bending pixels. Download that, open up that file, okay? Here it is, might not look just like that, but this file has a number of fun layers in here. So this is ultimately what we're gonna make, and I want you to do this with like your pet, something like this. So this is the final result, and this is what we're gonna get to today, right? Sort of blending and bending pixels. If you're joining me elsewhere, Faisal, Isia, Horva, Brian, jump over to behance.net/Adobe Live, that'd be great. Okay, but again, this is the fundamentals. I got all these cool images right in here. They are royalty free from museums. Most of these are from, in fact, this one are from museums, Rijksmuseum, there's like a Paris museum. I have a bunch of bookmarks of just cool, awesome museums that give away their images for free, just to kind of remix in situations like this. But in here we have a number of paintings, so feel free to grab the one that you want. This is a couple of images that I have here. I can use that first one. I could actually have a dog holding a dog, or if you have a cat, then it would be cool to put a cat's face right here with a little hat holding a dog. But that's our goal, is like, let's make our pet look like royalty, like he or she thinks she is or he is, right? We have this one, just basically, this is all propaganda. This was the Instagram of the day. Like, if you were big time, you had a painting done of yourself. Hopefully it doesn't imitate real life is the goal, but we're going to replace those heads with our own. I like this one, William III of Netherlands, so I got this from Rijksmuseum. Just a cool place to start. And what I gave you is this top layer, right over here. You can see this top layer. Let's just pull this out, make this a little bit easier to see, like so. Right here's just a bunch of puppers. No, that's not my puppy. I don't have a dog, but I'm very much like a puppy personality, if you know what I mean. So So yeah, exactly. Melissa is a dog that your dog behaves like she's queen around here. I heard I read something funny the other day. It's like, since everybody's staying at home, dogs think that we've quit our jobs just to spend more time with him or her, and cats think we got fired and we're losers. I just thought that was funny when I read it. All right. Yeah, your dog believes she's royalty. Your cat probably believes she's royalty. It's all good. So right in here, this is that top layer. 5 playful dogs bowing. By the way, check this out. I'm going to start out on the iPad and just kind of give you a quick preview there. You can go to save as, by the way, and you could save to cloud documents right here. Save to cloud documents. I already have it saved, but you will actually save that. It's basically a PSDC, Photoshop cloud document that you could access from anywhere. I've already done that, which is why I'm switching over here. And if you're a Creative Cloud member, you have access to Photoshop for iPad, which again I have. And I'm going to switch to it right now. Bam, there we are. Fantastic. Let's make our pets into royalty. They already think they are. Jeez. All right, same image, right? You get the idea. I've opened it up. Guess what? Here's all my fun layers as well. I can expand that out and we can see that view. Carol, your cat has you well trained. Cats are just something else, man. They just think they rule the place. I'm like, you don't have a job? You don't have a job? What are you doing? You act like you don't need me? Trust me, cat, you need me. Cool. By the way, what you make is gonna hopefully I'll upload to Discord, but let's kind of dive into this because there's a number of things we can do. We can go in here to these different selection tools is what I'm pointing out right now. Switch to it right meow. Clever Devlin, you have the correct name. So I could use the lasso tool, right, as you'd expect, and kind of try to tightly kind of crop in right there as I'm doing right now. We know we don't have to do that. We'll just deselect. What I'm actually going to use, I'm going to do a long press, and what I could do is I could do a select subject. First off, bam, no hands mode. It's going to select all the beautiful little peppers, all of them, right? But I really just want this chocolate lab, so let's just deselect, grab which dog you want. Hopefully you have a picture of your own pepper, which would be great, or cat. And I'm going to go to the second option right here. And with this option, I'm going to go in, and this is select subject. So it's the lasso tool and select subject in one, which is awesome. For those of you who need to know, I'm on Photoshop for the iPad. And again, it is the lasso tool and select subject in one as I kind of roughly just scribble around here on the doggy I want. Bam. And it snaps to that particular dog, right? Just like that. Down there at the bottom, I can just go ahead and say mask, and it masks it out. Okay, cool. Okay, let's do this. We can see it creates that mask over there. From there, by the way, actually, it looks like it didn't get it right there. Not to worry. I would actually kind of jump in here, maybe select, let's actually turn this to our regular lasso tool, or even paint actually. Let's just deselect. Let's go in, let's select our brush. Let's do a hard round brush, painting with white. So I'm gonna flip these two colors, bam, and then I can start to paint in any parts that were missed. If I got too much, let's flip them back, maybe make this brush size a little smaller, and we can do any sort of cleanup that we want, okay? We could also clean this all up on the desktop, because really what I wanna do, let's undo that, is I wanna really kind of get rid of a lot of this. I don't need most of this, just so you know. So I could jump in there, get rid of that, like so. I'm not erasing it, of course, right? From there, let's take this, let's flip this. Dog head is all I did. Click done, bam, bam. Going to the right layer. Selecting this, scaling it up. I'm gonna just kind of position it into position, kind of like that. Click done, and now I can start to add some adjustment layers to just, undo, to just this this head right here. And again, I can clean it up some more, but again, I'm not going to spend too much time in Photoshop on the iPad because I want to make sure we're doing this also on the desktop, okay? But again, kind of a continuation from yesterday. So down here, I'm going to go with, I could do some color balance. I can do some levels. Let's try levels a little bit, right? And knocking down those darks, making it a little bit darker so we're matching that image, right? We'll add, by the way, we'll add another one. Add a clipped adjustment layer. We'll do, sure, color balance, right? And we'll dip more into the reds, for instance. And I probably want to take down the, wait for it, right in here, hue and saturation. Take down the saturation a little bit. So kind of bouncing between color balance and hue and saturation is what I would do here. But I'm going to go to pro level on the desktop, which is going to be really fun. Rijksmuseum is the main one I use. That's a great question, Richard. So here we go. This might link directly to my account. Let's not use that URL. Love it. You would never guess the spelling of this place, but bam, there you are. Pasting that in, it's Rijksmuseum, and yeah, that's where I've gotten a lot of images, so it's super cool. So, right, pretty cool. We could kind of refine this some more, but we could also work on the desktop. So I'm kind of showing you what you can do on iPad casually while you're chilling and watching Netflix. You're watching Extraction, which I still have not seen yet. But from there, I'm just closing it. It'll automatically sync to the desktop. Okay, so let's kind of move on. Let's go back right over here to my desktop and dive into this. Anyways, I thought that was fun. Photoshop on the iPad is so much fun, right? It's like I don't have to be like just confined to my desktop, right? I love that I can kind of jump in because I spend a lot of time on the computer. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I spent a lot of time here over the years. Decades on desktops and laptops. But here you can see we could do the same thing. Photoshop on the desktop. Boom, just like that. Right, and again, I can continue working. So I can go to File, Open, just to prove what I was working with. Open Cloud Documents. There it is. There's the image I was working on that I can open up. Bam, there it is. Done. Everything that I just said is working just fine. Right, I was just showing you a second ago is how you could also just do this on the desktop. Same thing. Go around. Right. Oops, let's get into it. I'm going to use the other one, actually. Here we are. Because this one was working out pretty well. All right, I like it. Some of the colors are a little bit off, so I'm going to kind of show you how we can make this match even better. So I'm going to kind of turn off all those. Let's kind of zoom in here. We need to get this matched up more. I need to make sure the head works out just fine. So I want to make sure the neck isn't too long, and that's the current problem I have. So I'll be painting with black and white. I'll hit B for brush. I'll switch over here. I'll make sure I have a soft edge for this, and I'll kind of come down here. My flow is at about 28, and I can kind of slowly get rid of parts of this. I notice I actually have this collar that I want to bring in. I guess it's a dog collar, right? Now that it's on a dog. Right, we're just kind of slowly removing a little bit of that. And more harshly, we want to, this is why I have two brushes that I've made. Look at how basic my brushes are. Softy and Hardy. I usually bounce between these, soft round, hard round, softy and Hardy. Like, these are just brushes that have a different flow to them, is all I do. So it just enables me to switch back and forth between a lot of them. Let's come in here, let's get rid of a lot of this. Let's move. We gotta do the pause, we gotta do all sorts of things, right? Let's kind of take that out, like so. Okay, so I could imagine, and now good to have you here. On my iPad, PS App doesn't look anything like what you have there. Oh, thank you so much for bringing that. Make sure it's Photoshop for iPad. It's not Photoshop Express. It's not Photoshop Comp or Photoshop. I'm missing one, but there's other names out there. Make sure it's actually Photoshop for the iPad and not any of those others. Not Express, not any of this. Great question, by the way. So right in here, so chances are you might have a dog that has like lots of hair, lots of crazy hair, and is constantly shedding. I don't know, but you can select that layer mask, and right over here in the properties panel, select mask, right? And we can go in with this brush, this refined edge. We did this, I don't know if we did this yesterday or not, but chances are this will help kind of smooth out those edges and get all those little hairs that you want, okay? So that's what I might potentially do. Click OK, clean that up. You got that done. I'm gonna move through this. I'm gonna duplicate the background layer, because what I need to do, I know this is gonna sound morbid, but I need to chop off the guy's head. Command J or Control J if you're on a PC. It just jumps or duplicates that layer, and right now I'm just gonna select his head and I'm gonna get rid of it by going to Edit, Fill, and I'm gonna fill it with Content Aware. Fill it with the surrounding pixels. Click OK. Bam, gets rid of his head. Now we can drop on the dog's head and get to our masking on the desktop. By the way, I really need to clean this part up. It got a little crazy. Crazy dog hair everywhere, right? Check this out. I'm so excited about this. This is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go down here. So excited about this, everyone. Check this out. We're going to adjust levels first. The brightness and contrast. Right? We're going to go in, we'll just go to levels. So what I like to use, we get this nice little histogram. We'll move this over, right? And we can see that there's not pure blacks there, but I can kind of take that down. I'm going to make sure this is clipped so it's just affecting the layer beneath it. So hold down the Alt key if you're on a PC or Option key if you're on a Mac, and click right there, and it'll just clip it to just that layer. So we can see just made that darker, right? Wowza! Dog puns, here they come. All right, so now this is the thing that I like. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take this to the next level using curves. This is gonna blow your mind. So Nell, Steve, Jennifer, like all you pros out there, like tell me if you know about this. Not that I'm trying to stump you, but I recently discovered this like a couple months ago, and I'm like, this is so easy. Because what do I want to do? I want to match the darks and lights of this head to the painting. The painting is yellow, not so red. It's just like the blacks and whites are all off, right? So how do I fix that? So how do you fix that? Go to curves. I could play with this all day long, and I could redraw this line if I want to. Let's make sure it's clipped. Boom. Let's reset it. I can play with those all day long, but what I want to do is I'm going to go into the auto settings. So I'm going to hold down the Option key or Alt key if you're on a PC, click, and you'll bring up these auto correction options. So from here I can say, hey, you know what? Find the dark and light colors for the head, remap them so they actually match. Let me make sure. I'm so sorry for zooming all crazy like. Sorry about that. I have a plugin, by the way, or a different app that will, there we go. Okay, we're back in it. Sorry, I zoomed away. Find dark and light colors, shadows, clicking right there. We'll just pick this dark color on its like, on this, the uniform there, right? And we could play with the darks, right? We could play around with that. But the darks aren't pure black. That's the key right there, okay? Highlights, clicking right there. Now we'll pick a highlight. The highlight's gonna be this yellow down here. We'll click right there, boop, and see what it does? It matches up that head so much more. And I get it, we need to adjust the contrast and all that fun stuff, but that looks pretty darn good for the most part. Click OK, bum, bum. Don't remap those colors in the future. And I could still play with levels, by the way, if I want to, and make that a little bit darker, but that's looking pretty good. Typically what I'll also do is I'll add an additional layer on top and start just painting with a nice soft brush to maybe get some depth in here. Make sure we have some shadow right underneath and just kind of creating a little bit more depth around the face like so for our royal canine, right? Thank you, Steve. That's all I needed. I needed a wow. Thank you, Trisha. I needed a sweet because I think it's sweet. I got some hand claps. Photoshop did, I should say. But again, super cool. This is matching up very nicely, all by using curves, changing the auto setting. Okay. Oh yeah, and by the way, oh thank you, Sig. Yesterday it turned out I was on the mask layer. Okay, so keep in mind, if you're on curves right here, always click on the actual curves adjustment like that. Okay, you don't want to be affecting this mask. That can kind of throw you for a loop. So just click right here and make sure this is selected, and then go into the auto settings, just so you know. Okay, so this is all about bending and distorting pixels as well. So chances are I want to go ahead and grab some more properties. I'll usually take all this content right here, selecting it all by shifting and clicking, and then Command G to group, and now we have the head. Boom. Next thing we need to do is we need to make some paws. Right? There's that other head. Ooh, that looks really good. I think I duplicated at one point. Command J. Let's just come in here. This is why I love this object selection tool. I just need to grab this paw. So I'll just draw around this paw. Boop. It kind of selected it, not so much. Come on, buddy. Do your thing. All right, so there I did it much better. Just took me a couple times. Let's go ahead and bam, go like that. There we have this paw. And now we get into not only color matching, which will be the same, but also distorting these pixels. Right. Thank you, Camille. Awesome. Maybe even the texture somewhat. Wilder, good point, because this is a painting. So ultimately, we would need to I would try a couple things there. I would actually try some filters on it once I have everything kind of squared away, and see if I can get some brush strokes in there. But that's a good call. Love it. That would be like one of my more final steps. So right in here, there we have the paw. Let's do B for brush. Let's clean it up. Let's do this. Let's move this over. You know what? I'm going to be a rebel. I'm just going to apply layer mask. Boom. There we are. Command T. We could rotate this like that. Okay. Now I will go into Puppet Warp. Shouldn't it say Puppy Warp, actually? Since that's what we're doing. Bad jokes. Little puppy warp right here for this little paw. Pawtastic, right? Manipulating it like so. Okay. We did this yesterday, but I can't explain how important it is just to practice the fundamentals. Because trust me, it's all fundamentals. Adding this new layer just for shading, right? B for brush, we'll paint in, kind of make this a little bit darker down here. I'm just using black. Technically, I should actually sample the color of that uniform. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Huh? You guys having a good day? That works for now. Let's turn the head back on. There we go. That got a little weird. And the great thing is, since I already did these levels and curves and everything, I could duplicate those and put them right down here. Those same settings, we can go ahead and take those. Command G. Right hand, right? Clip those dog nails. Right. By the way, I do think these levels need to be adjusted, and you will need to kind of sort of like edit it per item roughly, but you get the idea. I only have like 1 minute, which means I might not be able to get to the left side, but I'm also an optimist, which is why I always run out of time. Okay, but right in here. Delete layer mask. Bam. Bam. There we are. Boom. You get the idea. All right. Hopefully you guys are appreciating this. Hopefully you have a picture of your own dog or a cat or pet. Maybe it's a fish. I don't know. But as you get a little bit faster, you'll start using shortcuts like I'm doing right now for Puppet Warp, which is what I was doing, bending this into place like that, adding a layer mask, B for brush, painting with black, just like that, duplicating those layers. In fact, let's just replace it. Bam. Get rid of that. Ga. Chapa. Gata. Ja. Like that. There we go. We're already well on our way. And you could see what we could do in a short amount of time, only 30 minutes. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. Justin and Camille, I want to see everybody as pets, to be honest with you. Like, tell me how important pets are right now. Like, at this time when, you know, we're all staying home and like being safe and washing our hands and getting a good night's sleep. I don't think so. Not that last part. But it's possum, as in pause, possum. Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much. Hopefully you guys like this. Stick around because we have the one and only Aaron Nace up next, and he'll get to review these beautiful dog and cat photos and all that good stuff. So hang out for him. He's going to be up next. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.